Welcome to our next session, System of Linear Equations. And what are system of linear equations? System of linear equations are nothing but they are a set of linear equations, and these equations have some common properties, or they are related to each other. So those kind of linear equations are called system of linear equations. Some problems can be represented as a set of linear equations. So let's see an example. Consider we have some resources and we want to produce some products out of these resources. So for simplicity, I have taken the products as tea and coffee, and the resources are, as you all know, milk, coffee powder, tea powder, water, and sugar. So these are the resources I have taken to produce the tea and coffee. Okay. Then before making the tea, I should know the composition of the resources. So for tea, the composition I define like this: for water half cup, milk half cup, tea powder 1/2 tablespoon, and sugar 1 tablespoon. And for coffee, water half cup, milk 3/4 cup, coffee powder 1 tablespoon, and sugar 1 tablespoon. Okay. So what is our aim and why this example is related to linear equations? So here our problem is to produce the maximum products out of these resources. Okay, so the resources, I have some quantity of resources with me. If I consider milk, 3 cups of milk, 2 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of tea powder, 2 tablespoons of coffee powder, and 5 tablespoons of sugar. And my question is, how many cups of tea I can produce out of these resources without wasting much resource? That is our requirement. So we need an optimum value for the number of cups of tea. Okay. And similarly, we want to find out how many cups of coffee I can make out of these resources. So if I am going to produce tea and coffee at the same time using these resources, I should find out how many cup of tea and coffee I can make. So then I'm going to sum up all these things here. The composition of the resources for tea and coffee, and the quantity of resources I have in my hand. Okay. And our problem is to find out how many cups of tea and coffee have to be made to fully utilize 3 cups of milk. Okay. So that is the question. So we are going to write a linear equation that represents this problem. Okay, so I am going to start from the right hand side. The right hand side shows the total quantity of the resource I have. So I have 3 cup of milk. So on the right hand side I have written 3. Now we have to say how many cup of tea and coffee I can make. So I take 2 variables t to represent the number of cup of tea, and c is the total cup of coffee. Okay. So what will be on the left hand side to utilize total 3 cups of milk? So for 1 cup of tea, I require half cup of milk, and if I make tea cup of teas, I require total these much of milk to produce 3 cups of tea. Then for 1 cup of coffee, I need 3/4 cup of milk, and into total number of coffees I make. Okay, so this will give you the utilization of 3 cups of milk. Okay, so this is the first equation. So this 3 represents the milk. I have. Okay. And similarly, I can write equations for other resources also. So for example, I will write one more example for water. I have 2 cup of water. I have 2 cup of water with me. So on the right hand side, I have written 2. And check for 1 cup of tea how much water I require. Half cup of water I require, and 2 cups of tea I am going to make. Plus, then for coffee, I need only 1/4 cup of water for 1 coffee. So I am going to make 3 cups of coffee. Okay. So this is the quantity of coffee and tea I am going to make out of this. So I am going to solve this. So when we solve, and I can write these 3 more equations for these 3 resources. Okay, so but here we have only 2 unknowns, so 2 equations are necessary. Okay. So if I solve this equation, I will get the solution for T and C. That means the total number of cups of coffee and tea. Okay. So this is how we use the linear equation in our day-to-day life. Of course, we are not going to use these kind of equations at our kitchen. But just to relate it with our day-to-day life, I have used this example. Okay. Then the system of linear equation, I can rewrite it like this. Okay, a1x1 plus a2x2, and here this x1 is the variable t and x2 is the variable c that I have used in the previous slide. And a1 and a2 are the requirement for 1 unit of product. Okay, it was half. You can just look at the previous example. This is this one is a1 and this is a2. Okay, then the other equation, I write it like b1x1 plus b2x2 equal to 3, something like this. Okay, and where a1 and a2 are the amount of water to be used in 1 cup of coffee and tea respectively, and b1 and b2 are the amount of milk to be used in 1 cup of tea and coffee respectively. Okay, so just an example. So the general form of system of linear equations can be written like this. Okay, where a11, a12, up to a1n, then a21, a22, a21, all these are called as this. aij's are called as the coefficients. Okay, and the xi's are called the variables or the unknowns. So we want to find out the values of these unknowns by solving this system of linear equations. Okay, and this aij and bi, bk all are belonging to real numbers. Then next is how to find out the solution of linear equations. Solution is nothing but we have to find out the value of these unknowns. Okay, finding out the value of these unknowns, that is named as solution for the linear equations. There are 3 possibilities. That is, when we try to find out the solution of linear equations, there are 3 possibilities. One is there may not be any solution for the linear set of linear equations. Then we cannot find the solution for the linear equation, or there exists no solution. Second is there will be exactly one solution for the set of linear equations. And the third possibility is infinitely many solutions occurs. So let's see one by one. Case 1, there is no solution for a set of equations. So when we try to solve, there may not be a solution. So let's take this example, x1 plus x2 plus x3 equal to 3, and x1 minus x2 plus 2x3 equal to 2, 2x1 plus 3x3 is equal to 1. Okay, let's label the equations as 1, 2, 3, and when we add 1 and 2, we get the equation like this: 2x1 plus 3x3 is equal to 5. And you just check this equation with the third equation, it is contradicting. Okay, so what is third equation? Third equation says that 2x1 plus 3x3 is equal to 1. But here it gives us 5. So it is a contradicting solution. So when we get these kind of contradicting equations, we can say that these set of equations will not have any solution. Okay, so there is no solution for these three equations. So if we consider these three as a set of linear equations, it has no solution. Okay, why? Because we got a contradicting equation. Then the case 2 is to the set of equations have a unique solution. Okay, so consider this equation: x1 plus x2 plus x3 equal to 3, x1 minus x2 plus 2x3 is equal to 2, x2 plus x3 equal to 2. Label them as 1, 2 and 3, and try to find out 1 minus 3, first equation minus third equation. What we get? X1 is equal to 1. So we got the value for the variable x1. Then we try to add 1 plus 2. What we get? X3 is equal to 1. That is, we substitute the value of x1 as 1, and finally we get the solution as x3 is equal to 1. And substitute the value of x3 in the equation 3, we get x2 is equal to 1. So the solution for this set of equations is 1, 1, 1. So there is exactly one solution for this set of equations, and it is a unique one. We can write it as x1, x2, x3 is equal to 1, 1, 1. Okay, so the 1, 1, 1 is the solution. Then the third case is some set of equations may have infinitely many solutions. That is the third case. Again, consider the example: x1 plus x2 plus x3 equal to 3, x1 minus x2 plus 2x3 is equal to 2, 2x1 plus 3x3 is equal to 5. Okay, label it as 1, 2, 3. Add 1 plus 2, we get 2x1 is equal to 5 minus 3x3. 1 minus 2 gives you 2x2 is equal to 1 plus x3. So x3 is common in these two equations. So let's take x3 is equal to a. Okay. Then we get x1 as 5 minus 3a divided by 2, x2 as 1 plus a divided by 2. Okay, so we find a variable in all the solutions. Okay, in the solution of x1, x2, x3, we find a variable a constant a, which belongs to real numbers. Okay, a belongs to real numbers. We can substitute any real number in place of a, we will get one solution. Then if we choose another real number as a, we will get another solution for these equations. So we can take infinitely many values for a, so this set of equation will have infinitely many solutions. Okay, so that is the third case. Now, apply the different values for a, we get different values for x1 and x1, x2 and x3, since a belongs to real numbers. Then, what is the geometric interpretation of these three kinds of solutions? We can consider each linear equation is representing a straight line. Okay, so this is applicable only when it is a linear equation with, we consider only equations with the two variables. Then the solution for the set of linear equation is the intersecting point of these lines. So when we consider each linear equation as a straight line, then the solution means the intersecting point of those lines. Then parallel lines, if we have the parallel lines, if the two equations, okay, suppose this is x1 plus x2 equal to 3, that is one linear equation, and the next linear equation is x1 plus x2 is equal to 5. If these two are the linear equation we want to solve, from the geometric representation we can see that they are parallel lines and they will never intersect. So that means that these set of equations will not have a solution because they are not going to intersect anywhere. Okay, never intersect, so no solution. Then we have another set of lines like this. The blue line is representing the equation 2x1 minus 4x2 is equal to 1, and the yellow straight line represents the equation 4x1 plus 4x2 is equal to 5. Okay, and it intersects at exactly one point, and that means that this set of lines, set of equations have a unique solution. Then the third case is infinitely many solutions. We have 2x1 plus 2x2 is equal to 10, and the other line is x1 plus x2 is equal to 5. They are exactly the same lines. These two equations represents the same lines, so they are intersecting at infinitely many places. So we can draw one line upon the other, or simply they are the same lines, so there are many intersecting points, so it has many solutions. So that is the geometric representation of the linear equations and the intuition of the solution. Okay, we can summarize it like this. The solution type is no solution, means they are representing parallel lines. That is, the linear equations represent the parallel lines. And if there is a unique solution, that means these lines intersect at exactly one point. Infinitely many solutions means these linear equations represents the same line. Okay, thank you. So that's all about the set of linear equations and the solution for the set of linear equations.